Before we dive into how to finish this program the fastest way possible, I just want to say make sure you guys stay safe out there, especially those that are affected by the Canada wildfires that are currently going on. You only get one pair of lungs, so make sure you take the proper precautions in order to stay safe and stay healthy. Now, in regards to the main monthly awards program, this is a little bit different from what we're accustomed to. Instead of it dropping on a Friday with top style moments, it actually drops on a Wednesday. It is 150 total program points. Inside the 150 total program points reward path is the end goal, which is going to be 99 overall Aaron Judge. We will discuss this card later on in the video. Inside of the reward path, there are 20 unsellable set 2 cards, as well as 4,000 stubs. This bat skin you see right here, 14 standard packs. In terms of experience, you are going to get yourself 12,000, 3 ballin' is a habit packs, and then last but not least, you are also getting 1 diamond duos pack. The first step to completing any program inside of MLB The Show is going to be the moments. Inside of the moments, there are a ton. You are going to be getting 2 program points per moment. There are a total of 20, since from moments you can get yourself 40 program points. As I always say, whenever you do moments, you want to back out to the main screen of MLB The Show 23 and then go to quick play moments, and inside of quick play moments you are going to be able to enter into other programs. Inside of other programs you will find the main monthly moments, and then you can just do it non-stop without having any interruptions or having to go back to any main screen. Before we continue, let me remind you to hit that like button or subscribe button, notification bell, aiming for 30,000 subscribers before the end of June. Also check out the description for the Twitch, Discord, social medias, and how to become a member. Once you have completed the moments, you will be awarded with 40 program points. Within those 40 program points, you are going to get 5 out of the 6 95 overall diamond choice packs. I would make sure that I pick the position players first and then get myself 1 starting pitcher and then another bullpen arm. That way I always have a player that I am working towards PXP or stat missions with. You will also receive Eddie Rosario, the hitting captain, for the May monthly awards, and Blake Trinan, the pitching captain, for the May monthly awards. We're not going to take the optionals into our program path in terms of accumulating all the program points, because some of you guys may have not done May tops now, therefore you don't have these 10 players ready to collect and get yourself an additional 15, and then others might not have the stubs needed in order to do the optional exchange, which now with this exchange being there, it is a lot more pricey to go ahead and buy these cards. Also, before you just buy 97s or any overalls in general, I don't know why it seems it's bugged, but the overalls are all over the place, and you might actually be able to get some 92 overalls for a lot cheaper, and they exchange for 100k rather than having to buy these 90 overalls and exchanging them for 75k instead. In my opinion, the May Tops Now collection, in order to get an additional 15 program points, is 100% worth it. The one for the set 1 is definitely not worth it, because when you exchange a card instead of collecting it, you are basically erasing it from your inventory forever. So it's only worth it if you have the stubs to spend in order to go ahead and purchase them from the community marketplace. But if you're trying to make stubs, I would rather go ahead and sell those cards now that they're selling for good value. Not including the optional steps, we are still at 40 program points, so make sure you add those players to your squad and any other player from any program that you need to get PXP or stat missions with. Therefore, you're not wasting your time whether you are grinding offline or online. But if you're doing it online, you're most likely not doing it through ranked, but instead events, and there are restrictions, so you probably can't get all the players from other programs. But you are going to have stat missions for you to do, as well as PXP missions for you to do as well. Inside of the PXP missions, you can get 87 program points if you complete each and every single PXP mission, in which there will be a PXP mission for each and every single player inside of this reward path. Surprisingly, the Tally 5000 Parallel XP is a non-repeatable one-time reward of 20 program points. I would have preferred for it to be repeatable, but we can't always get what we wish for. The stat missions, on the other hand, are going to give you a total of 27 program points, and these are going to be extremely easy to complete, as well as the Parallel XP missions, especially if you do it offline. Just in case anybody is confused on what a hold is and how to complete a hold, keep in mind that all of these stat missions, you need May monthly awards in order for them to count towards towards the progress. A hold, simply put, is when you are leading inside of the game, you bring in a reliever, the reliever gets a minimum of 1 out, and then he gets replaced by another reliever, and while that reliever got that 1 out, he maintained the lead. So a quick example would be, you are leading 3-0 heading into the 6th inning. You bring in Kenley Jansen with 2 outs in the 6th, he gets 1 out, and then in the 7th, you bring in Aroldis Chapman. Kenley Jansen will be credited with a hold because you are still leading inside of the game. Now, if Aroldis Chapman gets a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th, and then in the 8th, you bring in Rich Gossage, now if you are still leading, Aroldis Chapman also gets a hold. If in the 8th, Rich Gossage goes ahead and has another 1-2-3 inning, and then you bring in a closer, then Rich Gossage also gets a hold. So now you would have knocked out all 3 of these holds, but keep in mind that those players do not count for this, as they need to be May monthly awards in order for all 3 to count for the 3 holds that you need. But you can do it in one game, especially with the 95 overalls, as the 95 overalls have a relief pitcher as well as Tanner Scott, who is another relief pitcher, and you also have Blake Trinan. But you could go out of your way and maybe bring in from the starting rotation Michael Wacha if you're not using him as your starter, and bring him in as a relief appearance and get a hold with him and knock out all 3 holds in one game. By completing all of these stat missions and PXP missions, you are going to be able to get 151 program points as long as you completed the moments as well. But there are other options for you to go ahead and complete this with as well. If we look into the event, they added the repeatable event reward, and this is only specific to this event. So each time you get a win inside of the event, you are also going to be getting 1 program point. That is actually crucial because the event has restrictions, and the restrictions to this event are similar to the events that drop with every May monthly awards program or monthly awards program in general. They are going to require you to have monthly awards pitching and hitting captains, as well as Tops Now cards and live series players. So this is going to be a monthly awards event tailor-made for you to get those PXP missions and stat missions completed with, and you'll be able to get an additional program point if you are someone that is able to get wins relatively easily, or not even relatively easily. You should be able to sneak out a win or 2. But if you want to make this a whole lot easier, and you say to yourself, I don't want to do no online mode, I just want to grind this out the fastest way possible, because offline will always be the fastest way possible. You have mini seasons as an option, you have conquest as an option, but the fastest option is always going to be play versus CPU, because in play versus CPU, if you need to work on pitcher parallel XP, you can assign yourself as the home team, and as the home team, I would highly suggest playing at one of the parks that have max elevation, because without a problem you are going to be hitting home runs, and some of these parks are Capitol Lane Park. You also have yourself Shieldwoods Park, you have Laughing Mountain Park. Looking at the new cards that we have gotten, Jackie Bradley Jr. is going to be at most a defensive replacement if you have outfielders that do not have good fielding or reaction inside the outfield, because he has amazing fielding, arm strength, accuracy, and reaction as well. 62 speed is his only downside, and 111 clutch is also really good because with runners in scoring position, he is going to have a much bigger PCI than without having runners in scoring position. The downside is he has no quirks. Zach Greinke, on the other hand, 101 hit per 9, 102 pitching clutch. He has a 5-pitch arsenal in a 4-seam slider, circle change curveball, and then a sinker. He has home body and pick off artist, and if you toggle his attributes in order to get his hitting attributes, he also has a little bit of pop. So this Zach Greinke card might be a little bit more useful if you are trying to make a team that is just a fun build instead of necessarily one to win and rank. Blake Trinan is going to be the first reward you receive along the reward path for the May monthly awards program, and he is a very usable card. He has 125 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch. He has a sinker, a slider, a 4-seam, and a cutter. And if you go ahead and look at his quirks, he also has outlier on that sinker. He is going to be very good. One thing I also want to add is look for more closing pitchers, especially set 2 pitchers, since set 1 cards are going to be making an exit in the month of July. Trevor Hoffman Hoffman will no longer be used, so you won't need to emphasize on having relief pitchers inside of your bullpen in order to benefit from the Trevor Hoffman boost. Instead, you will start emphasizing on just having the best available bullpen arms, and this is definitely one of the best available budget bullpen arms. Eddie Rosario has amazing contact and clutch. He plays left field but can also play you some third base. He has 69 speed as well. At third base, his fielding and reaction do drop to silver, unfortunately, but at left field he has gold fielding animations and silver reaction animations up until parallel 2, where he goes to having gold reaction animations. The power is decent as well, and if we look at the quirks, not having any quirks is probably what hurts him the most. I would say that this card is most likely unplayable unless you are making a team build in order to use the captain boost. We're going to go through the choice packs quick unless there's a card that catches my eye. Spencer Steer has 80 clutch and he's a first base primary. There are a ton of players that can play first base, and he also doesn't have any quirks, so he is unusable. Audi Moreta is going to be another unusable card. Despite having amazing attributes in 125 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch, he only throws a slider, circle change, and a 4-seam fastball, and he has no outlier on any of those pitches. If you have Trevor Hoffman, yes, he is going to help you out a bit because of the Trevor Hoffman boost to relief pitchers, but he would not be benefiting from the boost, so he'd just be a filler in order to hit the goal requirements. Owen Miller, on the other hand, has good contact numbers and amazing clutch. He has 85 speed, 82 fielding, and 76 reaction, so similar to that Eddie Rosario situational hitter and bad ball hitter, he is a second base primary with only 50 arm strength, so he really is only a second baseman or first baseman, another unusable card. Aiko Walker has 113 hit per 9, 117 pitching clutch, throws a 4-seam, circle change, cutter, curveball, and then a sinker. I don't like the fact that both of his off-speed pitches are vertical movements, but the good thing is that the circle change comes in at 81, the curveball comes in at 74, and he also has break outlier, which should help him out substantially. I don't see him being that bad of a card if and only if you had good experiences with that 99 Adam Wainwright that came out in set 1. If you didn't have good experiences, then this card is not going to be any good whatsoever, especially as you progress inside of ranked difficulties, since velocity is king. Christopher Morel has amazing power versus right, but only 87 clutch, and he is a center fielder with 72 fielding and 72 reaction. That is not ideal for center field, and even if you do put him at his secondary positions, it just drops to bronze fielding and bronze reaction animations until you get him to parallel 2, where it will jump back up to silver, but I do not think it is worth it. He also doesn't have great quirks, another unusable card. Tanner Scott, 119 hit per 9, 122 pitching clutch, throws a slider, 4-seam, and a sinker. He doesn't have any outlier whatsoever, but depending on his pitching motion, if it is a little bit glitchy, then it will definitely be usable inside of ranked and battle royale as well, as lefties are always needed inside of the bullpen. He has great attributes and he's a relief pitcher, so he will benefit from the Trevor Hoffman boost. Small disclosure, despite me saying that most of these cards are unusable, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go after them, because at the end of the day, you should play the game the way you want to and with the cards that you find fun to play with. Also, these cards are great because they serve as placeholders for set 2 collections in order to progress you in that program as well. 97 Framber Valdez has 97 hit per 9, 116 pitching clutch. He throws a sinker, a curveball, a cutter, a circle change, and a 4-seam. So similar to that Adam Wainwright card, the only difference is the fact that he's a lefty, and he also has additionally a couple of more quirks. Because he is a lefty, he might be usable, and I could see him being very similar to set 1 Madison Bumgarner. Will Smith, this is the bad boy I wanted to see, because Will Smith has one of the best swings inside of this game. He has 108 clutch, which is good, and then he has 98, 116 contact. Those are also good as well. 87 arm strength for a catcher is ideal. 67 speed is also ideal, and he has a ton of quirks. This might be the Mike Napoli replacement. 1, if you don't like Mike Napoli's swing, and 2, if you don't think Mike Napoli's arm is good enough to be out there, this is definitely a card that you will replace him with. This is probably going to make it on my ranked squad card once Carlos Santana is taken out of the game, so this is 100% usable. Felix Bautista, 125 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch, throws a 4-seam, splitter, and a slider, and he has outlier on the 4-seam. This guy, I don't know what it is, but even his gold to diamond live series card was unhittable for me in that event that everyone was using him. So I 100% believe that out of all the bullpen arms in set 2, he will make it as one of the top 7 bullpen arms, or top 8. I forgot how many bullpen arms there are, but to be able to use in set 3 as well. Lord Gurriel Jr. looks stacked as well, 125 clutch, and then he has amazing contact, amazing power versus right. Versus left, it's a little lackluster, but we're fine with it. At left field, 78 fielding, 72 reaction, 65 speed. Most likely going to be either a first baseman or second baseman or DH. Most likely first base / DH. There are going to be a ton of better cards, and he doesn't have great quirks either, so unusable. Nathan Eovaldi on the other hand, 112 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch, 4-seam splitter, cutter, curveball, slider, and then he has break outlier. I would have loved to have seen him with at least fastball outlier. You guys should have just done that for us, MLB The Show, because that would have made this card 10 times more usable. It's still a good card and probably going to be number 4 or number 5 once the set 1 cards are out of this game. Definitely one you want to get and keep on the burner for when set 3 drops. Riley Green, max contact against both sides, 118 clutch, 80 fielding, 81 reaction. At center field is doable, especially with 88 speed, but he has no quirks. There are a ton of better outfield options available, but this is someone that I want you to also keep on the burner just in case you either A, really like his swing, or when set 3 drops, you don't have any outfielders to play. 98 Luis Robert Jr. is going to have 105 clutch, 92 contact versus right. We will work with that. 67 vision is not ideal, and let me tell you guys what vision does. 1, it affects the outer PCI. 2, it affects the ability of a player to go ahead and put balls into play, meaning it allows them to control more often whether the balls go foul or stay fair. And it also affects the timing of a hitter. Where did I read all of that? Inside of the manual Ochev went ahead and tweeted out. So I didn't necessarily read it, but I trust him since he is one of the top players. As a center fielder, 99 fielding, 85 reaction. That means diamond fielding animations, the best ones at center field, and then gold reaction animations with 84 speed. That is going to do. He doesn't have great quirks, so if it's between him and Riley Green, I would take Luis Robert. So Riley Green now gets moved to the bench and goes to unusable. Mitch Keller, 92 hit per 9, 102 pitching clutch. Not the best attributes in terms of hit per 9 and pitching clutch, but listen to this arsenal: 4-seam, cutter, sinker, slurve, circle change. So the 3 meta fastballs are his 3 best pitches. He doesn't have any quirks. That is what hurts him. But in set 3, I could definitely see him being a 4 or a 5, and I would go as far as to place him above Nathan Eovaldi. So Nathan Eovaldi now moves to unusable, and Mitch Keller is now the usable card as your number 4 or 5 option. A new Wander Franco card has dropped. 100 contact versus right, 125 versus left, 107 clutch. All nice. 97 fielding, 83 reaction, also good for a shortstop with 88 speed, not bad whatsoever. And he has a couple of quirks, would have liked a couple of more, but this is definitely going to be a suitable option for you to play shortstop with, especially when set 3 is here and you don't have that 99 overall Francisco Lindor or 99 overall Derek Jeter just yet, or Trey Turner or Jazz Chisholm or whoever you got at shortstop that belongs to set 1 to play shortstop for you. 98 Evan Phillips, 125 hit per 9, 125 pitching clutch. He throws a slurve, a cutter, a 4-seam, and a sinker. He does not have outlier although, but just like Felix Bautista, he definitely is going to be one of the top bullpen arms entering into set 3, so make sure you add him to the squad. Freddie Freeman, max contact regardless of whether there are runners in scoring position or not. He plays first base primary, but he does have secondary at third base. 76 fielding, 72 reaction are both silver fielding and reaction animations. At third, it's going to be bronze reaction animations with silver fielding animations. 58 speed is not bad at all either, and he has a ton of great quirks. I would pick him over Lou Gehrig, and I'm talking about the free Lou Gehrig that we got. But even the 99 overall Lou Gehrig, I might still pick up Freddie Freeman over him because these quirks are amazing, and Freddie Freeman has one of the best swings inside of the game. So this can also be a very, very usable card, especially if you lack a good first baseman entering set 3. Last but not least, 99 overall Aaron Judge. The contact numbers look good, the clutch number looks good, 54 vision hurts. It really does, whether you believe it or not. When you head into Hall of Fame and Legend, it's gonna hurt a little bit more. It's gonna make it a lot more difficult for you to time your swing, as well as keep the ball either fair or foul once you do make contact with the ball. And the outer PCI is going to be extremely small, so if you are using the outer PCI, you are going to notice it big time, and that might mentally affect you as well. I'm just letting you know that right now, as you will no longer be able to foul off as many pitches as well to stay alive inside of the count. But the card defensively also looked amazing. Right field primary, 92 fielding, 81 reaction with 64 speed, and he has a ton of quirks that are going to make him a better hitter as well. So this is a great replacement to Hank Aaron if you decide to go with Randy Johnson or with David Wright instead inside that set 2 collection, or this could be a great replacement to Roberto Clemente if Roberto Clemente is a card that you do not excel with inside of Diamond Dynasty. With all that being said, make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Check out the description for the links to the Twitch, Discord, social medias, and how to become a member. Have a blessed day and night. Stay positive, stay safe, stay blessed, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace out.